Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. Today we're going to show everybody the results from the Halloween Build-Off Invitational. Now this invitation was put out back in August, and we had a lot of people respond that said that they wanted to participate. So let's go ahead and show you the list. All these folks here have decided that they wanted to participate in the build-off. Now the build-off was to build a hearse, but you couldn't use the entire base from a hearse. Now if you had to use parts, that was okay, but you couldn't use the entire hearse. So let's see what folks came up with. I'm going to show you what I came up with, and we're going to have some fun here. So let's go ahead and continue and show you what's going on. I started off with this Ghostbusters ambulance. Now this is actually a cool build by itself, but this is the base that I wanted to use for my hearse. Now it's not a far stretch because Cadillacs are used mainly for hearses anyways, but I've got a little twist in mind. We pulled it right out of the blister. Now I've probably got about 10 of these in stock, so using one really isn't going to matter that much. But they're really cool cars. It's got a metal base, which I really like, and it's got real riders, which are cool also. Let's get this bad boy apart here and continue on.
Someone is being exhumed.
I've already drilled out the post. Now there's only one post in the front. The rear of the car is held together by a little clip on the body and the car. Now we got to get out the windshield and the glass. A little bit of push and tug in there. That little red plastic piece is holding everything together. Well, it'll take a moment just to get all these plastic pieces off, but we'll go ahead and do that. All I really need is the front windshield anyways, because we're going to cut the whole back end of the car off. Sometimes the car is smarter than you. There, we did get it off. It was that little red piece holding everything together. This is going to be quite cool. Well, we're going to be doing some chopping here. I've got this back piece off of a Boot Hill Express, and we're going to incorporate that into my Cadillac ambulance. We'll definitely have to do some cutting to figure that out though, for sure. I think it's going to look pretty cool though. Let's go ahead and get out the Dremel and get to cutting. I used a piece of tape as a straight line or a square, and I'm taking this Dremel with this cutting disc, and we're going to cut that back portion, the top portion of the ambulance off. I'll tell you what though, that disc heats up your hand. So something to think about. You may have to wear a glove, or yeah, it's getting a little bit warm there. And we'll hold on to it with this cotton glove that I have. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be alerted to any future videos that come out. Just take your time, don't rush it, and it'll get through. There we go. Just a little tiny bit more. I think it's way hot though. Almost through. I'll burn your fingers off there. Why didn't I use this to begin with? Damn, that thing is thick. There we go. Now it's through. We'll get some cutters and we'll snip off those little posts and flatten those out with a file. Hope it didn't melt the glue from the tape. It's still warm. Okay, well that's what I wanted to accomplish. It's still going to take a while to get it down to where we'll be able to fit that back piece on. We'll have to flatten out those posts and cut off the roof some. Oh, I got it backwards. This is going to look pretty wild. Let's go ahead and do some more cutting and move on. I flattened out the posts and I cut a groove in the roof so the other piece will fit in there. I also cut out the tailgate from the ambulance. We'll still have a little bit of filing to do here and there. There's the doors. There we go. It's exactly what I was looking for right there. Nice. This is definitely the start of something cool here. I had this vision in my head for a while. Looking neat. Let's move on. Here in this area here on the bottom of the Boot Hill Express back end, we're going to have to do some cutting to make sure that the back wheels fit okay and can turn. There we go. Yeah, they'll definitely interfere, so we're going to have to cut some of that metal away in order to be able to get the wheels to move freely. Now here's the windscreen. I just saved that front piece. Later on I go through and I cut out the windows and just use the windshield. And the reason I do that is I have to fill that hole in the top, and I use milliput, and from that there the side windows won't work too well, so I went ahead and cut those out. Well, the windshield and the interior are going to work just fine. There we go. There's your base right there. Let's get this in the paint stripper and get it ready. Here we dip it in the embalming fluid. Get that paint off. That's looking pretty cool. I know that'll work fairly fast. Now the ambulance, get that ready to go. Okay, let's let that set for a while, and we'll come back to it here in just a bit.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
Get the paint all stripped off? Well, most of it anyways. Some of that stuff is just really tough, but it doesn't matter. We get in there a little bit later with a wire brush. We're going to have to fill in these holes with the milliput and that gap right there on the side. We cut out those areas where we need to clear for the wheels. This is looking pretty unusual for sure. That's pretty wild. I like this. Well, at least it rolls. That's a good point. Let's move on. Here we've got the milliput. It's like a putty and it comes in two separate pieces. We're going to fill in the sides, the top hole, and the hole on the top of the roof. So cut yourself equal pieces of the milliput with your razor. Mix it all up, knead it by hand, and then fill in your gaps. Now, while it's still soft and it's starting to harden, you can shave that away with your razor blade. But be careful, it can fall out. Once it was dry, we cut it down as best we could. We sanded it down, and then we painted it with this Tamiya surface primer. I really like this Tamiya surface primer. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to use a rattle can. We're going to use the Testors Color Shift Base Coat, Gloss Black. Paint the entire ambulance gloss black. Now we're going to use this Purple Sunrise Iridescent Shimmer. This is color changing paint. And you need a black base coat to spray over the top with the iridescent shimmer. Man, does that look sweet. That dark purple, dark blue. I love that color. That's amazing. Now we're definitely going to have to let that set and harden up for at least a day. That's looking nice. I'm really happy with where this is going. Here we've taped off everything but the top of the roof, and we're going to go ahead and paint that a gloss white. Well, it turns out gloss anyways. We used this surface primer again because it was easy. Painted that white, took off the tape. That looks good. When we clear coat it, it'll be gloss and it'll be protected. We did some detailing. We painted up the curtains. We painted up those knobs on top. Painted the tail lights. That looks nice. Looking good. We took this ambulance, this Ghostbusters ambulance, and we took it apart and we stripped it down and we did a lot of cutting on it. And I had a vision in mind for this hearse build-off. And this is what we came up with. I really love the paint job on this car, and I like the way things turned out. And for a final touch, some decals on the side that says Carcophagus. Kind of a little play on words there, but this was a lot of fun. And please check out the other builders and their sites and go see what they built. It looks like everybody had a lot of fun. Now I'm editing this at the 11th hour. I kept getting emails with people saying, hey, can you post this on your video for me? I don't have a YouTube channel. But I wanted to make sure that everybody got their just dues and you got to see their cars also. Now, one thing I want to point out is inside the back there is a casket. And it was made by Bearcat 3D Designs. So if you get a chance, go check out the Grizz's page, Bearcat 3D Designs, and he does some great 3D work, and I know that he'll fill your needs as you come up with them. So please check him out. Okay, first one here is by Classic Rocker. Really cool bone shaker design. Look at the caskets. Definitely meets the hearse criteria. Here, another one from Classic Rocker, a stretch hearse. The Fast and the Dead. How cool. Here's one from Paul H. What a beautiful job. Got the dual wheels in the back, or the quad wheels. Fantastic. And here's one from our friend Gary Tasker over in Scotland. What a beautiful looking car. Fantastic. Here's one from Jonny and William Hicks. Now guys, William is 6 years old, and his dad helped him. How cool. Here's one from Orange Track Outlaws. Look at that purple paint job and that engine. Incredible. Beautiful. So like I said, please check out the other builders on the list there in the beginning of the video. And this was a lot of fun. I can't thank you folks enough for for joining me here today on Diecast Graveyard. Now we got a Christmas build coming up, and that'll be posted in just a couple days. Take care and have a great day.